Hey everybody, and welcome back to another book review. Continuing on with the series I started a little while ago, the Grishaverse series, which has been turned into a Netflix series that just a couple weeks ago was canceled. Not surprised because Netflix loves doing stuff like that, but also really sad because it was a really good series. It had a really great cast and everything, but the series is on Netflix. It's Shadow and Bone, but the second book in the actual trilogy is called Siege and Storm, and this is by Leigh Bardugo, and so this is part of the Grishaverse trilogy, and then there's two sets of duologies that follow in the same land, but not the same time frame of the trilogy. But the trilogy is kind of the main part. So Siege and Storm is the second book in the trilogy. I was very excited to read it. I do really like the series. However, in comparison to the first book, I did not like this one as much. I just felt like there were two climaxes, and it didn't really work for me. And then the kind of main climax was almost subpar. It was just weird. If you don't know much about the series, Alina Starkov is the main character, and she discovers that she has abilities, magical powers. It's kind of left in this kind of gray area, but for all intents and purposes, it's basically magical abilities that relate to a element, if you will. And she basically is the only person that can cast light. So everybody else, it's like something specific. So like wind or water, metal, things like that. For her, it is the ability to cast light. She's the only person that can do this. And then there's obviously a counterpart called the Darkling, who can cast dark, shadowy things. And so in the first book, she's on this journey trying to figure out who she is, what she is. In the second book, it's just kind of extending that journey. And they discover that they can have what's called an amplifier. And so the book kind of is set up that they're going to be on this journey to find the second amplifier. But they find the second amplifier really early in the book. And so I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do after that? Like, what's the point? And that's like, so the whole time I was reading, I was like, so what was the point, like, working through this? And to me, the second book is really just like a fodder. It's just writing for writing's sake. I didn't feel like there was a whole lot to it. I felt like there was stuff that we could go look at somebody else's point of view or experience another character's experiences or something like that. There are so many characters that were set up in the first book that I kind of wanted to see what was going on in their world, but you just kind of hear about them. So that was kind of bothersome for all intents and purposes for me. And then so the first climax is them finding the amplifier. The second climax comes much later in the story, and she basically figures out that she can take the Darkling's powers, and she kind of uses it to try and kill him. Of course, he survives because it's a trilogy, so there has to be a villain in some capacity. So we know it's setting up for the next book, which I'm going to start reading immediately. But yeah, I just, in comparison to the first book, I didn't like it as much just because of the double climax and just this bunch of information that has nothing to do with anything really in the middle. The book honestly could have been shorter than what it was. It was 450 some odd pages. And I was like done at like page 200. It took me a little while to get through this book because I was just like, okay, but where are we going? Like, usually you can kind of see where we're getting to, and I just couldn't see it. Even having watched the series, because I watched the series before I read the books, and I still just really felt like the series did a really great job of mixing all of the duologies and the trilogy, because like with this second book, there's just not that much there. So if I had to rank this, I would probably give it a 2 out of 5 for the second book. But overall, with the trilogy, I'm enjoying it because of the world that was created. And what I really like about this series is that it is almost, and I don't know if this is intentional, I've not read a whole lot about Miss Bardugo's kind of thought process or anything within this series or this story, but everything seems very Russian/Asian, in Middle Eastern, kind of with the developments, the language and everything. And so I really like that it is not something that is just set in like a British-esque place. So I really like that. I like that there is a bit of language, but like looseness to how their language works. So it like when you're reading it, it does sound very Russian or Eastern European, just very Slavic, which I really, really like. Just that darker side of things, or darker side of European world. I'll be very curious to see where that goes in the third book. But I just really like her descriptive world, the way that she describes things. It's just, you can definitely envision yourself, you can get lost in it. I was reading this in between things at my in-laws, and it was very easy for me to just shut out everything else that was going on in the room and just read the book and just be very, very lost in it. So there is that upside to it. But like I said, series itself is good. Second book was just kind of meh. So I'm gonna go grab the third book and start reading it because I have it. And obviously there will be a book review on that one. But as always, please continue to let me know your thoughts and feelings on different books and everything. If you follow me, please also go follow my husband's channel. It's kind of in the background there, Cheshire's Top Cat. But we went and saw Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And so we did a movie review on that, and that will be up and over on his channel pretty soon. So make sure you go check that out, because I have read the book already, so had to give my opinion on the movie. It is a long book review, though. I think he said he wasn't going to edit too much out of it, so it's almost like 30 minutes. I had a lot to say. But go check that out as well. And then also just follow him. He does some other TV show, movie review, music review stuff, as well as play very boring video games. For those people that like that kind of thing. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please send me book requests and book suggestions. I am doing my best to get through everything as quickly as possible, so that I can get to a lot more of your suggestions. But please continue to like, comment, share, subscribe if you feel so moved and so choose. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!